Cannot see yet. Emotional regulation, spiritual stamina, mental clarity. These are foundations for what is coming. If you skip restoration, success will expose weakness. Michael says this is why heaven slowed you down again, not to delay you but to preserve you. You are not being denied speed, you are being given sustainability. Also understand this growth will attract attention, both positive and negative. Not everyone who notices you is assigned to you. Some will admire, some will imitate, some will resist. Do not react to any of it. Stay anchored. Attention is a test, just like obscurity. Ego tries to rise when validation appears. Stay humble, stay teachable, stay grateful. The same obedience that carried you through darkness must carry you through light. Do not change your posture when conditions improve. Gratitude keeps authority clean, pride contaminates it quickly. Heaven can trust grateful people because they remember the source. Michael says remind them. This season is sacred not because it is loud but because it is shaping eternity. Choices, small decisions made consistently now will echo for years. This is where legacy begins, quietly behind the scenes, when no one is clapping, when no one is watching, when obedience is private and heaven sees everything. Continue walking steadily. You are not late, you are not behind, you are exactly where alignment placed you, and where alignment places you protection surrounds. Keep listening, keep obeying, keep moving forward. The voice you heard before will speak again, and next time the instruction will carry expansion because you proved faithful in stabilization. Now that clarity has become familiar, Archangel Michael says the next phase is stewardship, because what you carry now is heavier than before. Not heavier with burden but heavier with responsibility. You are no longer ignorant of what misalignment costs, and because of that you are accountable to what you know. Heaven does not hold you to what you did not understand, but once revelation comes, responsibility follows. This is not pressure, it is honor. God would not trust you with truth if he did not trust you with strength. Some of you feel a new seriousness about your life, not fear, not anxiety, but wait. This is purpose settling in. When purpose settles, distractions lose their shine. You will notice less tolerance for wasting time, less patience for shallow conversations, less interest in proving yourself. Michael says this is not pride, this is focus forming. Your spirit is prioritizing because destiny requires attention. This is where many people feel misunderstood because growth changes appetite. You no longer crave noise, you crave meaning. Do not force yourself to fit spaces you have outgrown. Expansion requires release. Holding on to old rooms will limit new assignments. There are conversations you will no longer engage in, debates you will no longer entertain, habits you will no longer excuse. This is not judgment, this is self-respect anchored in obedience. God is not hardening your heart, he is strengthening your spine in this phase. Heaven will also test your discernment through good opportunities, not bad ones. Everything that looks positive is not purposeful, everything that feels open is not aligned. Michael says ask not is it good, ask is it assigned. Your next season is not about doing more, it is about doing what matters. Doing less with precision will produce more fruit than doing everything with exhaustion. You are being trained to say no without guilt and yes without fear. This balance protects longevity. Burnout is not a badge of honor, it is often a sign of misalignment. Rest is not laziness. Not despise this pace, it is saving you from future regret. You are also learning how to stand alone without feeling lonely. This is critical because leadership begins in solitude before it manifests in influence. If you cannot stand in truth alone, you will compromise it in crowds. Michael says solitude is not punishment, it is preparation. God isolates to inoculate, he strengthens identity so applause cannot corrupt it. Some days you will question if anything is happening because everything feels ordinary, but heaven does its deepest work in ordinary faithfulness. The unseen roots are growing now, soon the visible fruit will follow, and when it does you will not panic trying to protect it because your foundation will be strong enough to sustain what God adds. There is also a warning in this part: do not revisit old seasons mentally, do not rehearse old mistakes, as identity lessons are meant to inform, not imprison. Reflection is healthy, rumination is destructive. Michael says the enemy would love to keep you reviewing who you were so you forget who you are becoming. Thank God for what he brought you from, but do not live there. Your future requires your full attention. The past no longer has authority unless you invite it back. An invitation often comes through nostalgia disguised as humility. You are not humble by staying small, you honor God by growing into what he called you to be. Some listening to this will soon be tested through success, not failure. Praise will come, recognition will appear, relief will tempt you to relax. Discipline do not loosen what saved you. Keep the same prayer life that carried you, keep the same boundaries that protected you. Success does not remove the need for obedience, it increases it because influence amplifies consequences. Michael says you are closer now than you realize. The confusion has lifted, the resistance has weakened, the old cycles are broken. What remains is perseverance. Stay consistent, stay aligned, stay humble, and when the next instruction comes, do not heed. As time passes in alignment, you will realize the real battle was never external, it was internal. Archangel Michael says the greatest victories in your life will not be visible to others, but they will permanently change how you move, how you think, how you respond. You are no longer reacting from wounds, you are responding from wisdom. This shift is subtle but powerful. Situations that once drained you will now reveal themselves quickly. People who once confused you will no longer have access to your emotions because clarity has replaced chaos. This is not emotional coldness, this is discernment maturing. Michael says discernment is not suspicion, it is spiritual eyesight, and now your eyesight is improving. You will start noticing warning signs early instead of after damage is done. You will sense misalignment before consequences appear. This is protection activated, not fear operating. Do not apologize for this growth. Some will say you have changed, they are right. You changed direction, you changed Standards you changed, tolerance levels you did not change, heart you changed, position. Those who benefit from your confusion will resist your clarity, those who benefit from your growth will respect it even if they cannot follow it. In this phase God will also begin restoring things that were lost, not all at once but intentionally. Trust will return slowly, confidence will rebuild steadily, opportunities will come cleaner without manipulation. Without force you will notice less urgency and more assurance. Michael says urgency without peace is often pressure not calling. God's calling carries weight but not panic. When something is truly from heaven it does not rush you, it aligns you. If you feel rushed, pause. If you feel pressured, check the source. Heaven leads firmly, not frantically. You are being trained now to recognize the difference between divine instruction and emotional impulse. This training is necessary because where you are going requires precision, not impulse. One emotional decision in your next journey is quiet but powerful. Your spirit is recalibrating, your nervous system is learning peace without chaos, your mind is learning focus without pressure. This feels unfamiliar but it is necessary. Some days will feel boring compared to the emotional highs of the past. Do not confuse boredom with lack of purpose. Boredom often appears when drama leaves. Your life is becoming less reactive and more intentional. That is maturity. Michael says many people return to destruction not because they wanted sin but because they missed intensity. Do not miss intensity, miss alignment. Intensity burns fast, alignment lasts long. In this season prayer shifts again. You will pray less to escape situations and more to understand timing. You will ask fewer questions and listen more. This is not distance from God, it is trust developing. Heaven trusts you more now, which means it interferes less directly. You must guard this trust with obedience. Do not assume silence means approval. Silence often means responsibility has been handed to you. What you do now shapes how much heaven entrusts you later. Someone listening to this will be tempted to help others before fully stabilizing themselves. Michael says do not rush into saving roles prematurely. You cannot pour from an unstable foundation. Let God finish strengthening you first. Your future assignment requires clarity, not enthusiasm. You are being trained to respond wisely, not emotionally. This is why this season feels slower. It is precise. The enemy would love you to get impatient and abandon what is working quietly. Stay here, stay faithful, stay consistent. You will soon notice subtle changes, opportunities that align without force, conversations that feel purposeful, decisions that feel lighter. This is fruit forming below the surface. Do not dig it up to check its progress. Trust the process. The same God who warned you is the God who is rebuilding you, and what he rebuilds with patience cannot be shaken later. Continue forward. The hardest part was deciding now. After alignment settles, something deeper begins to happen, and Archangel Michael says this is where many people become careless because the danger feels distant now that the decision is made. But discipline is not only needed at the moment of choice, it is needed after the choice. When life starts testing whether the decision was real, you will notice that temptation does not disappear, it changes strategy. It becomes quieter, subtler, more reasonable. It will not tell you to turn back completely, it will suggest small exceptions, small compromises, small delays. Again, Michael says this is where futures are either secured or slowly weakened. Do not underestimate small compromises, they reopen doors that obedience just closed. Alignment is maintained not by dramatic acts but by daily restraint, daily honesty, daily humility. This is the season where routine becomes sacred. What you consume, what you tolerate, what you repeat shapes momentum more than what you declare. Heaven is watching. Consistency now, not confession. You already spoke the words. The next test is lifestyle. Some of you will feel lonely in this phase because old connections cannot follow you forward and new ones have not formed yet. Michael says do not mistake isolation for abandonment. This space is intentional. God uses separation to strengthen identity before expansion. If he surrounded you too quickly, you would lean on people instead of principle. This season is building internal authority so that later influence does not corrupt you. The pressure you feel to go back to what is familiar will be strongest when growth feels slow. Do not rush the process. Slow growth is stable growth. Fast growth without foundation collapses. Michael says stability is the new miracle. You are asking for excitement when heaven is offering endurance. Do not trade endurance for stimulation. The enemy cannot stop what God is building, so it will try to rush it. Outpace your foundation and you will self-sabotage. Stay steady. This part of the